I am falling to my death. Why the heck would I do this? I'm dying. Today's the day. Like, trusting God is a lot like that. I was going through some old photos recently and I came across the photos of when I went skydiving, and I was just remembering that whole experience. Like, I'm going up on this plane. I actually paid extra money, so the standard height was like 10,000 feet. And I paid extra money to go 14,000 feet. So as you're going up, your instructor is reminding you of what you went through on the ground. So everything they prepared you for on the ground, you're getting this recap. So he's saying, hey Robyn, when it's your turn, I'm gonna tap you on your shoulder. I need you to bend your knees, cross your arms over your chest, tilt your head back. Bend your knees, cross your arms over your chest, tilt your head back. So I'm like, okay. When it's my turn, I get to the edge of that door. I get the tap. I'm like, all right, it's go time. I bend my knees. I cross my arms over my chest. I tilt my head back. Baby, I did not have a second to think. The second my head went back, I was in a complete position of surrender. That man had us out that door. I am falling to my death. I need you to understand, it was it for me. Kiss my son, tell him I love him. I hope that he lives to fulfill everything that God has for him in his life. Why the heck would I do this? I'm dying. Today's the day. Then the cord is pulled. The parachute comes out. You yank back up higher. You're now soaring. This thing that was tucked away is now carrying you through the sky. And in that moment, you're reminded, this was never intended to kill me. I signed up for this. This is what it feels like and what it looks like to soar. And I feel like trusting God is a lot like that, where we're so focused sometimes on reaching the accomplishment, whether it's a title. Like, I wanted to say that Robyn Michele, skydived. That was my focus. And so when I felt like I was plummeting to my death, in that moment, it's like, what the heck am I doing here? But I literally signed up for this. And so a lot of the times we're focused on the title, whether it's romantic, whether it's career related. We're focusing on the purchase. I want to say I'm a homeowner. I bought my dream car. I'm a world traveler. Like, we're focusing on this end goal that we forget the necessary seasons of plummeting prior to the soar. I think a lot of times we feel like because we're doing it with God, that we shouldn't ever feel like we're plummeting. Like, I'm gonna speak for me, not y'all. When I was out in them streets, everything seemed dandy, didn't it? Like, everything was great. I didn't feel like I was plummeting, like, not ever. And then I choose to trust God, and I'm making certain decisions and sacrifice. And now all of a sudden, everything feels like it's crumbling and it's falling apart. And I'm gonna try my best not to cry. And I know if you're like me, because you're so focused on the end goal and you're not thinking about the plummeting moments, that when they hit, you immediately assume I've done something wrong. God has forgotten me. You searching yourself. Imagine waking up searching yourself every day. Where am I failing you? Where am I sinning? Like, why have I not accelerated yet? It must be something I'm doing wrong. But that whole process and understanding lacks God's love in nature. He's a loving father. He's a loving father. And don't get me wrong, I'm big on accountability. Search yourself, absolutely. Because sometimes we are out of line, we are out of pocket. And there are unnecessary lessons that we have to grow through. It's still gonna work out for your good. But stop assuming that everything that feels wrong is because you're wrong. I had to snap out of that. And I had to be reminded that the plummet precedes the soar. A lot of the times we're looking on social media at somebody else's soar, but we never got to see their plummet. They didn't post that. They didn't talk about that. And God used those plummet seasons to prepare you. It's not to kill you. It was never intended to kill you. How you respond to it could kill you. But it itself is not intended to kill you. No, it's meant to strengthen your mind, your body, your spirit, your community, your environment. Most of all, your faith and your relationship with God. If you're like me and you're in one right now, I want to encourage you. I want to remind you first that God loves you. And I want to suggest that you bend your knees in prayer. Cross your arms over your chest. Embrace his presence. Tilt your head back in full surrender. Expect the plummet, but please wait for the soar.